Hello, Pisces. The moon is opposing Neptune on the 1st, and that's April Fool's Day. And you're going to be the butt of jokes on April Fool's Day. So heads up for that. Because, again, the moon is opposing you on that day. And that's people's subconscious, and they don't even know they're doing it. So heads up for that. Now, let's see how your ruling planets of Jupiter, which goes direct in Leo on the 8th, and Neptune, affect you this month, Pisces. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Pisces angel, Amnitziel, who rules over your mutable water nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. Now, first, a love transmission, the most important, of course. Now, Pisces, your guardian angel is Gabriel. He's the angel who rules over water signs. So if you want to pray to somebody for yourself, you want to pray to Gabriel. But if you want to pray for understanding and your ability to help others and teach others, you need to pray to your teaching angel, Amnitziel. That's the distinction. And you can utilize both these angels to help you. This month, there's going to be a blood moon. You need to get ready for that. Because even though Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, the moon affects you because of your deeply sensitive nature and your deeply psychic nature. Now, Pisces, on the 1st, when the moon opposes Neptune, you and people who are born under the sign of Cancer, the crab, are going to have some misunderstandings, especially with feeling that something just got lost somewhere in the translation. You're going to feel things have been misplaced inappropriately, like you cannot find where these relationships are. And that'll affect a lot of your relationships because the moon is ruling a lot of the subconscious aspects of your relationships. So in matters of love, you're going to feel displacement on the 1st, on April Fool's Day. So maybe it's just not good to get into it with people on April Fool's. Okay? Just kind of stay out of it and keep your sense of humor, and you'll win the day. You'll win the day if you keep your sense of humor. On the 2nd, there's a Sun trine Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, one of your rulers, is still retrograde on the 2nd in Leo. So it might feel like things aren't really moving forward properly. But by the 8th, then Jupiter transits direct in Leo, and then things can kind of move through better, because a lot of these health and wealth and success issues have been sort of going backwards. And now they can kind of move forward. So you want to just be aware that happens on the 8th. Now, still when it's retrograde though, and on the 4th, before the 8th, on the 4th, when Passover begins on the evening of the 3rd, but there's a blood moon, a total lunar eclipse in Libra. This is a blood moon, the 3rd blood moon in the tetrad. The next one happens in September. These are happening on feast days, important feast days in the Hebrew calendar. And it's the day before Easter on the 4th, this blood moon in Libra. Now, the blood moon in Libra is going to make people want to feel that they want revenge and they want retribution. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And they're not going to be going after anybody's ego. The blood moon affects the soul because it's a total lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses affect the soul because the soul is represented by Israel in Scripture. And in Scripture, the nations are affected, or the ego, the nations represent the ego, is affected by solar eclipses. So people who sort of feel like they got punched in the stomach in their ego in a solar eclipse are going to feel more like they got more of a thrust to the heart on a lunar eclipse. Because, again, the lunar eclipse affects the soul. So you want to be aware of that. because that's going to affect everybody. And again, Pisces, you're very sensitive. So you're going to feel this, even though you're not ruled by the moon, per se. You have a connection with the moon. And it's a very symbolic connection with the moon that you have. Now, on the 18th, there's a new moon in Aries. And that's going to affect you in the manner that you're going to feel that your willpower, not your willpower for success, but your ability to fight against what you feel may be abusive. When you feel abused by others, your ability to fight that, you're going to feel like it's had a wet blanket thrown on it. That's on the 18th. That's the new moon in Aries. So on that day, you don't really need to fight abuse. You just need to understand that if everybody feels abused, and everybody feels they have the right to abuse. So everybody needs to not feel sorry for themselves on that day, anybody. And everybody needs to approach each other with professionalism and adult manner. Cordial, convivial manner. And that will fix everything that you may feel is wrong with your relationships, your friendships, your family relationships, and your romantic relationships. If you feel you've been abused, or others feel they've been abused by you, or vice versa, you feel you've been abused by others, everybody can forgive each other, and that's going to happen. And it has happened already, because God forgives everybody, right? But what you need to do is approach people in a professional, very blunt manner. Just, this is what I want, and this is what I'm offering, and then the other person says, this is what I want, this is what I'm offering, and that's it. Everybody just has to behave in a more civil, grown-up manner, and then everything works out just fine. And that's going to happen a lot after the 8th, when Jupiter goes direct in Leo. Again, Jupiter is one of your ruling planets. Jupiter and Neptune being the planets that rule over your sign. Okay, now for your money matters, Bartchel's money transmission, talking to you through Gabriel. Don't fall for April Fool's sales or deals because the bills are going to be padded. Just understand that on April Fool's Day. Once we get into it and the month starts to unwind and we get into all these other aspects, you can ease up on that. But on April Fool's Day itself, just don't fall for any April Fool's gags. It's better to just focus on Easter, because that'll be a time when people, again, are going to be coming more from their soul. Again, egos are going to not be what's going to feel assaulted. We need to differentiate in these financial dealings the difference between how do I get somebody to buy my product. Do I go at their soul or do I go at their ego? How do I get them to buy what I'm selling? Because I have to hit them in the heart or hit them in the ego. And some people want to double tap you in the head and the heart, because ego is sort of in the head. You know, double tap you, and then you kind of get at somebody. And once you've got their soul and their mind, you know, hearts and minds, you've got everything. So that's what the plan is going to be. Because the world has had great gobs of entertainment going at this whole zombie apocalypse thing, where everybody's sort of just a zombie who doesn't react any longer to commercials, because commercials have been coming at them so hard and fast. They've sort of grown this great wall, sort of a big callus or scar tissue, if you will, between yourself and those people trying to sell you something, because the salesmanship has gotten so good that people just are so immune to it and hardened to it. They just, you know, they are zombies at this point. The consumer has become a zombie. The zombie apocalypse is about the consumer. So, How do you deal with that? There's only one way to deal with a zombie. You double tap him. Heart and head. You got to hit him in the heart, and you got to hit him in the ego. The head's the ego. Soul's the heart. But again, remember that you can't do it all at once. You're going to have to utilize solar eclipses to get to their ego, and you're going to have to utilize lunar eclipses to get to their heart. And you have to pay attention to what you're doing. And then you'll be able to figure out how to get your product to sell and how to have a leg up over the competition. Now, health. This is going to be a good month for Pisces health. A lot of good aspects for you. And this 8th again, not to beat a dead horse, but on the 8th, the Jupiter going direct in Leo is great for health and great for wealth. It's the planet of health and wealth. And now that it's going direct in a sign that rules over success and these kind of aspects, now we're getting somewhere. See, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So that's when you can really feel that you're able to heal a lot of your financial and health matters. So it's a good month all around for that. Especially after the 8th. Before the 8th, don't get into it with people. Just don't. Okay. On the 30th, on the Sun sextile Neptune, that's a great day for you to get back in touch with people you've been out of touch with, because those people are going to be more friendly. So you want to get in touch again with people you feel you've sort of just misplaced in your vast array of relationships, and that will bring a lot of healing, because you'll find that a lot of the healing that you feel you need in your body has to do with a lot of the relationships you've let fall by the wayside. And this healing is really of a psychosomatic nature, because 96% of all illnesses are psychosomatic. So remember that. Heal some of these relationships. Find some of these misplaced things. And you'll find a lot of things that you feel are physical ailments clear up real quick and heal very fast. It'll seem like a miracle to you. And remember, God's going to send His angels to heal your finances and your health. And your emotional relationships, it's easy for you. All right. Now, for some of your planetary aspects, some of the facets this month, your afterglow. Okay, Pisces. On the 1st, the fish needs to remember the moon opposing Neptune. April Fool's jokes. You're going to be the brunt. Ixnay. Don't get involved. Remember, just lay your head low. Just keep your head down until the 8th, okay? On the 2nd, the Sun trine Jupiter. It's a good day to sort of nestle in with people you trust, but remember, Jupiter's still retrograde in Leo, so don't push too hard. On the 8th, well, remember the blood moon on the 4th, okay, the total lunar eclipse in Libra. Everybody's going to be wanting retribution. On the 8th, Jupiter transits direct in Leo, okay? On the 12th, Mars sextile Neptune. On the 18th, new moon in Aries. And on the 30th, the Sun is sextile Neptune. All right, Pisces. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel, and join us again next month.